Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Nsuku and I am a South African currently living in Germany as an au pair. Typically, I make lifestyle related videos. Sometimes I dive into commentary, but since this is my life right now, I've taken up the identity of being an au pair and now I just make au pair related videos, I guess, until the next chapter of my life. So this video has been highly requested, and by highly requested I mean I've gotten exactly 2 DMs about it, and that is how to write the au pair motivational letter for your visa application. I will insert my motivational letter at the end of the video, like a screenshot of it, just so people know how the format is supposed to be like or what I submitted for my application. But before putting that on the screen, I will quickly go over some bullet points of how to formulate your letter. So let's get into how to write the letter. The first thing that I did is I wrote a quick introduction about how I heard about the au pair program, and then I expressed my interest in becoming an au pair in Germany. In the next paragraph, I wrote about myself. I introduced myself, I wrote who I am, how old I was at the time, the languages that I speak, and my knowledge of the German language. So at the time when I wrote this letter, I was 23 years old. I expressed that I speak Tsonga, English, a little bit of Korean, a little bit of Afrikaans, and that I had been learning German for I started learning German in April of 2022. And at the time that I applied for my visa, I already had my A1 level of German. I also expressed that I had a little bit of childcare experience. So in my case, I sometimes babysat for family or whatever. And I also had volunteer experience. So as part of my school, we used to volunteer at a preschool. So once every single week I was at a preschool volunteering, and I also happened to volunteer at a hospital. So I included that as part of I don't actually remember if I included that, but I had my volunteer experience somewhere in my letter. The next part is you need to explain your expectations as well as how you will personally benefit from this program. So you will explain here why you want to be an au pair and why you chose Germany. For me personally, in my letter, I wrote that becoming an au pair in Germany would help with my communication skills. So being in Germany would not only help me learn the language, but then I would be able to communicate with the locals faster. The next thing I wrote is about the cultural exchange experience. So you're moving from your home country. In my case, I moved from South Africa to Germany, and that is a big cultural difference. That is something that's actually quite useful for people to be able to learn about other people's cultures and have some sort of cultural exchange experience. So I wrote about that. I also wrote that being in a foreign country would help to push me out of my comfort zone. Again, at the time, I was 23 years old, moving to this foreign country where I knew quite a few people already, but in the area where I would be moving to, I knew absolutely no one. I could only introduce myself in German. I could badly order a coffee, but it actually helped to push you out of your comfort zone. Now you're forced to learn a new language. You're forced to learn how the public transport system works. You're forced to learn how to communicate with people from a different cultural background than you are. So it's a great way to push yourself out of your comfort zone. And that's one thing that I mentioned in my letter. And I also wrote that, again, moving to another country, it's going to take a lot of adaptability from my side. And that would be something that would be useful for the future, not just as an au pair, but in future workplaces, for example, you need to be adaptable. And that's something that I mentioned in my letter. And finally, this was actually quite quicker than I thought it would be. Finally, you need to talk about your future plans. In this part of the letter, they need to know that you are planning to go back to your home country. Again, in my case, I wrote that I would like to go back to South Africa and continue studying. So if you write that you would like to stay in Germany, you would like to work, you would like to do an Ausbildung, you want to do A, B, C, and D, that is an automatic rejection for your letter. In your letter, you need to explain to them that you want to go back to your home country, and you need to express what you will be doing when you go back to your home country. They need to see that you have actually given it some thought about going home. So if you, for example, are interested in becoming a teacher after you're an au pair, you need to say that you are interested in becoming a teacher. You would like to go home to your home country. You want to go to, I don't know, for example, the University of Pretoria to study education or early childhood development or so forth and so forth. They want to see that you have some sort of idea of what you're going to be doing and not just staying in Germany and taking advantage of the social support that they have here. For my personal letter, I wrote that I have aspirations to return back to South Africa to study medicine so I can become a pediatrician. And I also wrote that being an au pair would help me to better understand children, and it would basically help me become a better pediatrician. Other options that I've seen a lot of au pairs take after being au pairs is they typically become kindergarten teachers, or they go into social work or take a volunteer program afterwards. So something along those lines of, I want to go back to my home country and I have plans and aspirations for A, B, C, and D, for example. That's basically it. They don't need to know. I don't know, like some people go into really, really great details into their personal letters. I tried to make it as simple as possible, and that's all the information that I had written. Again, I will insert a screenshot of my letter at the end. I know I said everything right now in English, but your motivational letter actually needs to be written in German. So what I personally did is I wrote my entire letter out in English and then I just translated it to German. Like, you can use ChatGPT or DeepL for your translation. It doesn't need to be perfect because you are somebody who's still learning the German language, and just making the effort to write your letter in German helps your chances. So yeah, that's basically it. I will insert my motivational letter once again, and I hope that this video was sort of like useful or informative, or you took something out of it. I wish you guys all the best if you are writing a motivational letter and you're applying to become an au pair. I hope that everything goes well in your favor, and I hope that you have a beautiful day further. I love you a lot, and I hope to see you in my next video. Ciao, ciao.